Podcast. Presented by XFL2K.com. With your host, Tron Hawkins.
Welcome, this is the XFL Podcast. I am your host, Tron Hawkins, and what a wild Week 3 that it was. Some upsets, some amazing games. I think it's the best week of the year. Me and the ref from XFL Newsroom talked about it, and what a week it was. And like he said, even the blowouts were entertaining. Let's get right into it. This is the recap and rankings episode. Later on, I'll be ranking them. Remember, it's not power rankings, it's college style, so record does matter. Let's get into it. My game of the week, I said, was going to be the Dallas Renegades versus Seattle Dragons. I thought it would be the most competitive. I was wrong. We'll get to that here in a minute. But this was still a good game. Dragons led 12-6 at halftime. But Dallas, being the second half team they are, answered with 18 straight points, lifting them to a 24-12 win at CenturyLink Field. The crowd was still rowdy in Seattle. They had 21,000 there. I think they're first and third all-time in XFL attendance so far. But now Dallas has sole possession of second place in the West. Landry Jones was 30 for 41, 274 yards and 3 touchdowns with 2 picks. Again, he's struggling with the picks. Donald Parham had an amazing game with 2 touchdowns from 10 and 65 yards out. But they put the game away once again with Cameron Artis-Payne. He had 80 yards rushing and 30 yards receiving. Brandon Silvers looked efficient with 2 first-half touchdown tosses, but stymied by the Renegades starting in the third quarter. And while Seattle run game again was strong, it failed to sustain late drives. Yeah, it's weird. Seattle's got some really good running backs between Gardner, Williams, and Farrow, but none of them has had a rushing touchdown. They've all had receiving touchdowns. So let's see what the Renegades said about the win. Bob Duke said, "Glad to see us get things smoothed out in the second half. We ran the ball better. We used more two running back sets. Is what he said." Ashanti Brown, who had 9 combined tackles in Week 3, says, let's see what Ashanti Brown, linebacker for the Renegades, said about the game. He had 9 combined tackles in Week 3. "I feel great. We came out with a win today. I wasn't focusing on tackling or anything. It's a team effort. We're coming down here looking for a win, and we got one." Stat of the game. The Renegades had 4.9 yards per rush, while the Seattle Dragons had 3.7 yards per rush. Dallas' explosion on the ground in the second half led to the come-from-behind victory for the second straight week. I think Cameron Artis-Payne might be the MVP of this team. I think a lot of people focus on Landry Jones, but Cameron Artis-Payne is the spoke that makes the wheel turn. I don't know if that's a good analogy or not. But Parham's role is growing, it says, in how Mummy's air raid offense as he continues to pose matchup problems with his height and athleticism. He's been the most consistent option in a deep Renegades receiving core, having averaged 8 targets per contest so far. Artis-Payne chewed up 100 plus scrimmage yards in 2 straight games, averaging 6.6 yards per rush in that window. For the Dragons, Pro returned to the game plan with a 6-81-1 on 7 targets. Despite a Week 2 dud, his combined ability to sit down in coverage and find space in tight confines should keep him involved in the game plan most weeks. Linebacker Steven Johnson, who might be Defensive Player of the Year, is one of the XFL's emerging defensive dynamos, and he once again imposed his presence on opponents. He gathered 14 more combined tackles, 9 solo, 2 tackles for a loss, and a pass defense. Dragons said in defeat. Jim Jones said the three and outs did not help. I thought we were running the ball well. We had we had a pretty good game plan. All of us felt frustrated. We had a plan that was capable, but you only get one shot. Brandon Silvers, who I think is in trouble. I was more comfortable out there today. I played better in the first half. In the second half, a lot of 3 and outs. We didn't play good as an offense. I thought Seattle, I said it before, I thought Seattle was going to keep it close for a while, and then Dallas pulled away. That's exactly what they did. I don't think Dallas is the end-all be-all team like we thought they would be. I think that goes to Houston, who they play this week in the first of the Texas 2-step. But Landry Jones keeps making mistakes, and that's the problem. Seattle, if they would have took advantage of these mistakes, they would have upset Dallas and be number 2 right now in the West. Problem for Dallas is they make those mistakes against Houston, they're going to capitalize on it. We're going to talk about that in the preview show Thursday. But watch out for Cameron Artis-Payne. I think they finally figured out that Cameron Artis-Payne should be the center of this offense, not Landry Jones. Donald Parham is the best receiver, not Jazz Ferguson, not any of those other guys. It is Donald Parham. He is the best weapon they got. I mean, at 6'8", he ain't got no choice but to be the best that they got. Watch out, though, for Seattle. They play St. Louis this week. It's a trap game, I feel like. Seattle is better than what their record says, but they're going to have a chance. I think Brandon Silvers might need to get benched, and B.J. Daniels, somebody might be the quarterback. He keeps making mistakes. That is costing them in the very end. Good win for Dallas, though. They went on the road and won in Seattle against a tough crowd. We're going to have another tough matchup this week against the Roughnecks. And like I said, Seattle's going to have a tough road game in the Dome against the Battlehawks. We'll be right back to discuss more Week 3. Next up, we're going to talk about the game of the week. The Houston Roughnecks defeated the Tampa Bay Vipers 34-27. This game, I was very wrong about. I thought Houston would go in and just destroy Tampa Bay. And that didn't happen. Tampa Bay hung tough. It seems like Tampa Bay's on the verge of getting a win here. They keep playing tough games. They played Seattle tough. They played Houston tough. They probably should have beat New York went for those red zone turnovers. So they're getting closer to a win. They're going to get it. I don't think they're going to go winless this year. It says Tampa Bay's first XFL home game featured invigorated offense with success from the quarterback tandem, but it wasn't enough to stop the potent Houston Roughnecks from powering to a 34-27 win. Cam Phillips once again caught 3 touchdown passes from P.J. Walker for a second straight week and piled up 194 receiving yards, the best single game mark in the league so far on 8 catches. Cam Phillips is the exceptional player of the week. 8 catches, 194 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He once again single-handedly won the game. It feels like him and P.J. Walker is the best combination in the league, but Cam Phillips, the exceptional player of the week. Just a awesome game by them two, and they're just so much fun to watch. And next week, a week from Saturday, I get to watch them play the Seattle Dragons at home. Get to fly out to Houston. What a game it's going to be. Cannot wait to see the 2 best offensive players in the league and the best team play live. Tampa Bay handed over the majority of the play calling duties to offensive coordinator Jamie Linzo, and it paid off as the Vipers were rolling in the first half with 2 successful red zone trips. However, a quieter second half and an interception thrown in the final minute prevented them from nabbing their first victory. Let's see what the Roughnecks said. P.J. Walker knows if he gets the ball around Cam Phillips, he's going to get some catches, said Jim Jones. We do a lot of talking. The communication between me and him is awesome. I always tell him I'm going to find you. We talk constantly, and it helps. Cam Phillips. P.J. Walker said about Cam Phillips. There's a couple plays. There's one play where it like P.J. Walker's going to get sacked, and he just tosses it up in the air, and there Cam was wide open for 80, I think it was 84, 87-yard touchdown. And then the most amazing play of the game was Philip Walker fumbled the snap. He just picks it up and runs right in for a touchdown. Game. I mean, when stuff like that goes your way, both those plays, they almost sack into an interception, and then the fumble recovery for a touchdown run. When things are going your way like that, you're not going to lose. God's on your side. It was meant for you to win. Here's a couple of stats. Average yards per gain per play, 7.9 for Houston to just 4.8 for Vipers. Again, Vipers, I think they outgained Houston again. Like they outgain everybody every week. They just can't get in the end zone, or they make a mistake. And speaking of mistakes, the penalty yards. Houston had 39 penalty yards. The Vipers had 99. They committed the whole football field in penalties. Phillips' second straight week with 3 scores to put him in the lead to win a second straight Star of the Week award. He was my exceptional player of the week. Cameron Payne was last week, but you can't deny that. Walker's 306-yard, 3-touchdown game through the air, plus a scramble that also carried him across the goal line. At least it should include him in that conversation as well. The Houston Roughnecks are going to sweep the Star of the Week award. I mean, they're going to just sweep it. They're going to win every damn week. As they should. They're the best team. Though Taylor Cornelius at times sparked the offense as well, Quentin Flowers continued to add a more fluid dynamic to the Vipers' offense as a complimentary passer. He ran for 29 yards and a touchdown while throwing for 67 yards, 8.5 yards per attempt. While Williams got the hype for his powerful touchdown catch and run, Jalen Tolliver was targeted 13 times, catching 8 of them for 104 yards. He keeps getting... Coach Tressman is kind of shooting himself in the foot with this 2-quarterback thing. Pick one or the other. It seems like when one guy gets momentum, he gets taken out and the other one comes in. If he can just ride the hot hand, Tampa's going to win some games. Like, they got some talent. I was wrong about them not having a whole lot of talent, but I wasn't wrong about them putting it together on the field. They're 0-3. They're the only winless team. We'll get to that later. Oh, my God. But they're the only winless team right now. And they got DC coming in. A pissed-off DC team. We'll talk about that Thursday. It might not get any easier for Tampa Bay, but they actually had a decent crowd. They had 18,000 there in Tampa. That was more than I thought they would get. So watch out for Tampa. They're a sneaky team. They might not win a championship this year, but they're going to spoil some people's chances at winning a championship. We'll see what the Vipers said. Chessman said, really excited about our fans. Thought our fans were awesome today. They were behind us. They were loud. They were a lift. It was good to be home. Dan Williams, who's an awesome wide receiver. Credit to the offensive line and the quarterback and my receivers. We just got to keep pushing and moving forward. It was all about tempo this week. Get on the line, tire them out. We just fell short on that this week, so we need to head back to the drawing board. This team is not horrible. And I know I'm doing rankings college style, not power rankings. Because it's college style, Tampa's going to be last. But power rankings, they should probably be ahead of New York, because at least Tampa shows some life. They show life. They're in every game except for the New York game. And that was just because of penalties. That was because of turnovers in the red zone. The question is, who's going to be the quarterback? And I know we don't know if it's going to make it to a second year or not. I think it will because of the great ratings and the crowd. Tampa Bay's got to be in line for a new quarterback next year. You would think. What they got, they're a quarterback away from doing damage, I think. They got good receivers. Their running backs are amazing with Jaquez Patrick and Devontae. But if they can just get a quarterback there, they're going to cause some damage. But like I said, they might not win championship this year, but they're going to spoil people from winning it. Watch them pull off an upset or two in the next few weeks, maybe even against DC this Sunday. But Houston rolling by a long 3-0 against Dallas this Sunday in the part one of the Texas two-step. That's going to be the game of the week, just in case y'all wondered. But Phillip Walker and Cam Phillips will not be the nod. If I was Houston, though, I'd be trying to get other people involved. You can't just throw the... People's going to realize after a while that he's just throwing the Cam Phillips. So watch some more guys get involved, maybe even this week against Dallas, so it's not a one-trick pony kind of deal, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop them two. They might just slow them down. Give Vipers credit, though. They hung in there for the whole game. Like I said, they didn't beat them, but boy, they gave them a fight. That's the game of the year so far. This is the number one game of the year so far. Week 3, this is the most exciting game of the year so far. It came down to the last play. Great plays from both sides. Just amazing, amazing effort and passion in this game. Go out and watch it if you can find it on YouTube or DVR, whatever way you want to watch it. Go watch this game right now. Spoiler alert, the Sunday games are not as good as the Saturday games. These are 2 ass whoopings, so if you hate violence, I would just probably turn away right now before listening to this. First game, in the Dome in St. Louis. What a rowdy crowd it was. If St. Louis, who is now first place in the East, gets to host the East Championship game, whoever's going there is in trouble. They're in absolute trouble. Because this dome was rocking. What a crowd it was. They was on the edge of their seat for everything. Let's talk about it. So with the sport of a wild crowd for the XFL debut in the Dome, the St. Louis Guardians controlled their 29-9 victory over the New York Guardians Sunday. St. Louis never trailed and sustained drives with an effective 1-2 tandem of Christine Michael and Matt Jones. Good Lord, this team has an identity. It's run the ball and play good defense, and that's what they're doing. I've been telling you all along that's what they do. Jordan Tommy didn't have to do a whole lot. A lateral kickoff return also went to the Battlehawks touchdown thanks to Joe Powell's finish, and a jaw-dropping, and it was freaking amazing, 58-yard field goal by Taylor Rizzullo provided plenty of moments to mark pro football return to the Lou. Yeah, me and my girlfriend sitting here watching it. And we're like, oh my God, he's trying for a 58-yard field goal. Never in doubt. He kicked the crap out of the ball. It was amazing. Probably one of the top moments of the year so far. I know it's just a field goal, but it was an awesome, awesome field goal. The Guardians, meanwhile, failed to get anything going with offense with erratic quarterback play once again. That McGloin battled ineffectiveness and injury. Marquise Williams moved downfield at times but couldn't convert. And then you had third stringer Luis Perez got a late audition and threw a touchdown, but by then the New York was far from contending. The question is, will Luis Perez start this Saturday afternoon against the LA Wildcats? Will he get to start against his former team? If Matt McGloin's hurt, do they really have a choice? I think he might be the best bet. New York's one of those teams, again, they got good wide receivers, but nobody throwing the ball, kind of like Tampa. They're a quarterback away from contending. Quarterback, other than maybe 3 or 4 teams, it's kind of And if we're being honest, DC, LA, St. Louis, Houston, and Dallas. So 5. So you got Tampa, New York, and Seattle kind of trying to figure out the quarterback position. They're kind of a quarterback away from contending. But the league is kind of fluid right now. This is a new league. It's going to happen. Not everybody's going to have a top quarterback. But my Lord, is New York, their one win is becoming the exception, not the rule, it seems like. So let's see what the Battlehawks said about the win. Jonathan Hayes said, obviously, I want to express my thanks and our team's thanks to the people who came out. It was a great crowd, and it really ignited our players, and I can see why our 12th man is so important. Christy Michael said, we have a lot of potential. We have a great coaching staff. We have a great group of guys, offense, defense, and even special teams going out there today. It was that NFL feeling. We're all playing at a high level, feeding off for one another. So after the game, once again, penalty yards. New York has no discipline. It's like every week, it's like they're shooting themselves on the foot with turnovers and penalties, and this week was no exception. Battlehawks only had 20 yards of penalties. The Guardians had 86. When you commit 86 yards and 99 yards like the Vipers did of penalties, it's done. Peak performances for the Guardians. Cornerback Anthony Teixeira flew all over the field, registering 6 tackles for a solo. Though perhaps helped by playing against a loose defensive looks from an opponent, winning big. New York's run game looked effective. The Guardians averaged 5.3 yards per play attempt as Tim Cook and Darius Victor each netted 50 yards, including a 33-yarder from Cook. Battlehawk said, while the Guardians' ground game finally showed some life, Jones and Michael again set a fine argument for the best 1-2 backfield in the XFL. It's no argument to me. They're the best 1-2 tandem, and we kind of figured they would be. Matt Jones has been so impressive this year, not only running the ball, but catching the ball in the backfield. Michael's been good too, but I like Matt Jones a little bit better so far. St. Louis pressured the cavalcade of Guardians quarterbacks, getting sacks from Will Clark, Andrew Ankara, and Casey Sales. Sales is the guy, I don't know if y'all seen it or not, traded a Battlehawks ball in for a thing of Girl Scout cookies. It was adorable. In a great moment in the return of St. Louis. Kelvin Gilbride said, congratulations to St. Louis. They were well prepared. They had innovative ideas on special teams. We did not play smart. We made foolish penalties, and I told our team I was very disappointed. Justin Stockton said, right now as a team, we have to keep building together, stay strong together, and just regroup. St. Louis is a better team. They had home field advantage. I don't think home field advantage is that big of a deal in this game, though. If this one played in New York, I think St. Louis would have just dominated them, too. St. Louis is a Tier 1 team. Right now, there's Houston, there's Dallas, and I think there's St. Louis. I don't know what D.C. is, and we'll get that in just a minute. But St. Louis is playing some great football. Like I said last week, there was a penalty being called away against Houston from being the only undefeated team in this league. St. Louis is legit, and with that home field, I see them possibly being the 1 seed in the East. They are in first place right now, and it's in their hands. They play they play D.C. I think a week from this weekend. We're battle for first place. St. Louis is legit, and with New York and Tampa kind of faltering, they're going to get a playoff spot. Question is, though, will it be at home or will it be on the road? If they can get that home game, we're going to see them in Houston, probably playing Houston. St. Louis is one of my picks right now to make the championship game. I love this team. Jonathan Hayes has actually been a really, really good coach. His brother's been a really, really good defensive coordinator. And Jordan Hamu, he does just enough. He let the running game and defense do the work, but Jordan Hamu is no slouch either. Once he gets his legs going, this team's going to be unstoppable. Guardians are kind of turning into a dumpster fire. Matt McGloin, he gets hurt and kind of gone for the rest of the game. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's really hurt or just kind of being a wuss, if I'm being honest. I do not like Matt McGloin. I don't think Matt McGloin even likes Matt McGloin. New York's Guardians defense don't even look good anymore like they did week 1. I think that was more because they was playing Tampa. New York's in trouble, and when a New York team's in trouble, the fans are going to hear it. So don't be surprised when nobody comes out to the L.A. New York game this weekend because New York wants a winner, and I don't think the Guardians are that. But St. Louis fans, keep coming out to the Dome because they're going to be the talk of the town very soon. I'll be right back to cap it off with the L.A. Wildcats versus D.C. Shocker. Finally, let's talk about the shocker of the week, and this is the one I was wrong about. I mean, sure, I'm tending to, in my picks, pat myself on the back, but those two was at the expense of L.A. The first time I had too much confidence in them, and I didn't know Josh Johnson wasn't starting, and I picked them to beat Houston. And then this game, I thought D.C. would blow out Wildcats. I did. I thought the defenders would blow them out of the water. On XFL Newsroom this week in the XFL podcast, I said I'd pick them all day, every day, even on Sunday, and I should not have picked them on Sunday. I've been preaching it ever since the quarterbacks came out that Cardale Jones can turn the ball over, and he did in this game. A lot. Let's talk about it. And my God, it was just a beatdown. LA Wildcats 39-9. Now you can probably see this coming. When Josh Johnson came back against Dallas, they hung tough and probably should have won that game. Even when they didn't have Josh Johnson against Houston, they hung in there for a while. Josh Johnson is going to be one of the better quarterbacks in this league. But LA's offense, defense, and special teams showed up for this game. A lot of people call it the biggest upset of the year of XFL. Technically, St. Louis beating Dallas was because of the point spread, but this is huge. Mr. Excitement, Martez Carter, pressured into duty due to Elijah Hood's being active, scored 3 times, including several backflips. He has 75 offensive yards and 3 touchdowns. Also, you had Josh Johnson looking amazing. He went 18 to 25 for 278 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a sterling 148 quarterback rating, and head coach Winston Moss calling the defensive plays. DC only had 90 net passing yards and went 2 for 13 on third down. Spoiler alert, in any league, if you go 2 for 13 on third down, you're going to lose. Defense also had picked off Cordell Jones 4 times and had 5 total takeaways. Mr. Excitement, though, what a good guy he was. He was the highlight of this game. His sideline interviews and stuff, calling himself Mr. Excitement, his interviews with the sideline girl. Just amazing stuff, and that's what this league is built on. Winston Moss said, "This isn't about me. This is about all of us. We're just getting started. We got to be ready to go back to work on Tuesday." He said, "Hey, I know we won, but we got New York. We got a trip across country." Speaking of cross country, I think a lot of this had to do with DC flying across country, not giving them any way out. But think about this: they played Seattle and they played New York at home. Neither one of those 2 teams has a great quarterback. Josh Johnson does. Josh Johnson is a great quarterback. So DC, of course, their defense picked them apart. They couldn't pick them apart, Josh Johnson. You know why? Because they had a quarterback. Matt McGloin and Brandon Silver's not top tier. Of course, the defense picked on them. When DC didn't get no defensive turnovers, guess what? They lost. They lost this game. It wasn't ever close. I was sitting here shocked. My girlfriend had to shut my mouth. I thought DC might be a pretender. St. Louis might run away with the East. I'm not overreacting either. The O-line and Josh Johnson put me in a position to make all the plays today. The way our team is so in tune, the offensive line and Josh Johnson, our coaches. So it makes our job easier. All we have to do is run, just make the right decisions. That's what Martez Carter said. His stat of the game is simple. LA, 5 takeaways, DC, 0. Again, how good is DC's defense? Kind of like New York. New York picked on Tampa Bay. And then they played real teams. And they lost. Peak performances, the defenders, though aided by a soft Wildcats defense late in the game, DC did rush for 200 yards, including an 8-carry, 75-yard day, and in the long touchdown score, Nick Forsett. Carter, McBride, and Johnson dominated the day, but credit the defense for shutting down any chance at a DC rally. Several backups in LA secondary were pressing the duty. Yeah, their top 2 corners was hurt, and they picked off Cordell Jones 4 times. Mike Stevens registered 2 interceptions, 6 tackles, and 2 pass deflections. Arion Springs and Jack Talcho chipped in with their own picks. Pep Anderson said, give all the credit to LA, but this is not the moment to hang our heads or get frustrated. It's pro football. It's time to respond. Cordell Jones said, it's not about how bad you lose, but how you respond. We won't allow each other to give up. Everyone can blame LA for what we are about to do to the rest of the league. I respect what DC's saying. They're saying the right things. But this was an ass whooping that nobody saw coming. But we should have saw it coming. LA was trending up the last 2 weeks. After week 1, they was trending up. We should have saw it coming. Josh Johnson is a great quarterback. Cordell Jones, though, here's the thing. I know, and we'll talk about this more Thursday. I know DC's playing Tampa, and Tampa's going to be, it's going to be the same situation. If DC overlooks Tampa, like they did LA, Tampa's going to get their first win of the year. Cordell Jones better show up and play Sunday night. That's all I'm going to say. 7 o'clock start, under the lights, first real night game in the XFL. If they show up like that against Tampa, Tampa's going to beat their ass too. They better turn it around. LA's no joke either. LA, I don't want spoiler alert, they're going to be my pick to beat New York. They're going to go into New York and probably beat them. LA's going to be 2-2, and if Houston beats Dallas, LA's right in the thick of it already. You just got to finish top 2 to have a chance at the championship. You just got to finish top 2. You can tell me LA can't after that? They're missing Josh Johnson week 1. Might have been the difference. Josh Johnson's going to be a leader, and I've said it before and I say it again. Winston Moss might know something we don't. Maybe he fired and traded all these guys for a reason. That's all I'm saying. 39-9 though, against what people thought was the top team in the league. Impressive and shocking. Just shocking. They got shellacked. It was a trap game. Let's see how both teams respond this weekend. All right, now let's end the show with the rankings. Number 8 is Tampa again. I'm sorry, Tampa, you're the winless team. Get a win, we might move you up a little bit. Y'all showing life, though. Y'all showing some life, and y'all showing me something. Tampa at number 8. Number 7, New York Guardians. What are y'all doing? If it wasn't for Tampa being winless, y'all be last place. Y'all can't stop nobody on defense. Y'all turn the ball over way too much and give everybody a short field, and y'all ain't got a quarterback. Matt McGloin is obviously not the answer. I don't know if anybody there is the answer. And y'all got a obviously now hot LA team coming in the MetLife. You're in trouble. Seattle is number 6. I want to like you guys, I really do, but Brandon Silvers might be a liability towards the end of the year. Y'all have a great home crowd, but y'all just can't score points. 12 points in a home game. When you got 12-6 and you give up 18 straight to a Dallas team that was struggling in the first half. Y'all couldn't turn the turnovers into points. If y'all going to have a chance, y'all got to turn the turnovers into points. Y'all got Seattle and then the Houston game I'm going to be at in the next 2 weeks. Y'all got to score points if you're going to keep up with them 2 teams, and I just don't see y'all doing it. Number 5, LA Wildcats. Boy, y'all proved me wrong. Holy shit. Y'all went out there and just beat DC down. I was shocked, like I just said. Josh Johnson is a real big-time quarterback. Y'all are on a roll. Y'all might take out New York pretty easily this weekend. Number 4, DC Defenders. I know what you're thinking. They was number 2 last week. They might have been number 1. They might have been number 1 on my list. They're number 1 last week. But y'all can't just go into LA. I know even though it's cross country and just demolish like that. I thought this might actually be a good game, if anything, and DC wins. I expected y'all to win 39-9, not LA. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe y'all just played weak competition the first 2 weeks and we overvalued you. Show me something different this weekend against Tampa Bay. Number 3, Dallas Renegades. I like y'all for y'all's running game, not y'all's passing game. I like Donald Parham too. Donald Parham might be one of my favorite players in the league. Just run the ball. Hand the ball to Kenneth Carter's Payne. Throw it out of the backfield. Throw it in the backfield to Lance Dunbar, and throw it to Parham. Throw the short balls, because if you try to go deep, Lance Jones gets picked off. Play to his strengths. Throw the short ball and use the sides down on Parham. Y'all be all right. Number 2, St. Louis Battlehawks. Y'all might have had the biggest win of the weekend to me. I know y'all playing New York, it's first home game. But, man, y'all look dominant. LA had the most dominant win, but y'all look like the most complete team in the league right now. The difference between you and Houston is, even though Houston's number 1, y'all have a defense. Y'all have a pretty good offense. Jordan Thomas, y'all not making him do everything. He's a rookie. Y'all doing that rookie NFL game plan. Don't make him do everything. Play to his strength, and y'all do that. Y'all run the ball. You play good defense. You don't put a lot of pressure on the kid. Y'all the most complete team right now in the league. Number 1's Houston. The only weakness they have is defense. But hell, if you can give it 24 points if your defense is scoring, if your offense is scoring 31. Phillip Walker and Cam Phillips are amazing. You got Butler out of the backfield. You got wide receivers, some big-time wide receivers like Lewis and all them guys that's not even doing any plays because here's Cam Phillips taking it all. If y'all get everybody else involved, y'all can score 50 points a game. Y'all are the top team, and I cannot wait to see you play live against Seattle next weekend. Go out there and handle Dallas, and the West is y'all's. Thank you for joining me this week on this podcast. Cannot wait the preview week 4, Great weekend this weekend. You got LA and New York. I can't wait to talk about that game. Seattle against St. Louis. Houston and Dallas in my game of the week and the first of the Texas two-step. And then DC goes to Tampa Bay. We'll talk about that Friday. I'm recording it Thursday, but we'll talk about it Friday on the preview show for week 4. Cannot wait for another week of XFL football. Thank y'all for joining me and hope y'all enjoy the show. If you're going to be in Houston for the week 5 game against Seattle, come out and see me. Live podcast from the tailgate. It's going to be a great, great time. Thank you for joining me and thank you for supporting this podcast. Leave me a like and review on Apple or Google. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook at XFL Podcast. Have a good night.